On the Pádraig Mahony one, Pádraig Mahony's, I suppose he wouldn't probably be the paciest Waterford player, and Waterford's game is based a lot around pace. He's brilliant on the ball. If you give him a yard, he'd score. So it's going to be interesting to see where he fits into that. Potentially, it could be off the bench when a game has opened up a bit, but and somebody else, I mean this in the best way possible, someone else has done that 50-minute shift or that 55-minute shift to allow somebody else to flourish. But I'm not sure, particularly after all the injuries, whether he fits in as a starter for Waterford at the moment. But we've shown how big the finishers are now as well. And maybe he could start as a finisher and slowly work his way back into the 15. But I do think it's going to be difficult enough for him to get back in. He's played very limited time under Cattle, just the early stages of the league. And well, in fairness, it was around September, October that he did the cruise at that time. But there's a lot of water under the bridge since then.
And then you have to wonder, if you look at the subs that they used against Tipperary last year in the quarterfinal and against Limerick in the semi-final, are the finishers that they're looking at lads who can run at you when a game opens up a bit? Think Darragh Lyons, who go in midfield. Michael Kiley's made great impacts. Neil Montgomery, brilliant when he came on against Tipperary. Patrick Curran. It might be one of those things where you and I would recognise Pádraig Mahony's quality all day, but maybe he mightn't fit into what they're doing. Now, the thing is, we would have been let know by now at this stage if he wasn't going to be part of the panel at any stage. So I do presume he fits into the picture. In terms of a hurler, yeah, class. And he probably does deserve an opportunity to show can he fit into that style too. But that's not to say he will, because, Maurice Shanahan was dropped before he ever got an opportunity.
Yeah, there are several ways to skin a cat though too. And I think Liam Cahill was using the pacey options that he had at his disposal. He probably didn't have a Pádraig Mahony. He probably didn't have a player really that was going to come in and be able to hurt you from 100 yards maybe. So he could have 3 or 4 pace options, and he could also have somebody who's going to float around when the game opens up and beat you that way too. So I think he'll definitely get a chance to show what he can do, and it could be another potential string to their bow.
Lads, let's start the second team at number 5. There's no one near Limerick's as Dennis Noonan. You know what? To be fair, he's got a bit of a point there. Patrick Hickey, Waterford always seem to find a way to lose on the big days.
I don't know about that.
Or do they always lack the quality?
I don't know about that. The big days, Galway were a good side in 17. Limerick were, one of the best sides we've seen in recent times last year and this year. So I'm not sure, the big day. I don't really agree with that, to be honest with you. In 08, they lost to either the best or the second, but probably the second best team of all time, probably the best team of all time. So I'm not sure about that, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, just look at their other All-Ireland final appearance. So 2017. I mean, they were in a position to win that game, and they didn't. Look at the Munster finals since last winning in 2010. They lost 11, 12, 15, 16, and 20. So they are losing finals, they are losing finals regularly.
Do you think that's a psyche, or do you think it's a lack of quality?
I'd say it's more so to do with quality and the opposition they're up against having a little bit more. I think they do so much right, but let's look at and I haven't kind of screened this beforehand, but let's look at the scores they put up in these Munster finals. So 2011 scored 19 points. That's not going to win you any finals. 16 points in 2012. 16 points in 2015, 13 points in 2016, 21 points in 2020. There's a bit of a common denominator there, isn't there, in terms of what they're scoring?
Lack of goals would jump out off the page here, and lack of goals
and points.
Yeah, but particularly though, if 213 is a lot better. 221 is a lot better. And goals is something that they've really struggled to get against Limerick. Have they scored a goal against Limerick in their last 3 meetings against them? This year's All-Ireland semi-final, they didn't get a goal. Last year's All-Ireland final, last year's Munster final. And that's from a team that's able to get goals against everybody else.
Yeah, well, even the 2 All-Ireland finals of recent... Well, look, actually the 3. We'll go back to 2008, even though it has no relevance to the current team. Scored 113 into the 2008 final, 217 in 2017. Not too bad, but you need more than that to win an All-Ireland. And then 19 points in 2020. So scoring on the biggest days has been a problem for Waterford. Is that a psyche thing? Is it a quality thing? Is it a bit of both? I do think that Waterford generally have one or two positions on the field where the opposition can target, or there's a little lack of quality. And throughout all those teams, I think that's what's let them down. That's been the common denominator, which, I mean, culminates in you not scoring enough because you're just not quite as rounded as the opposition. But people, get your comments in, because that's one definitely worth talking about. If you enjoyed this piece of content, please follow us on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of the page, which helps the channel grow. And if you want audio podcasts, go to patreon.com/ourgame.